The crowd couldn't believe they were standing up to celebrate about this moment. Wow, energy by the Celtics, but I have to say, by the Bucks, but I have to say, the Celtics get it. It's not necessarily the defense of the Bucks stopping Boston. Boston just not seeing the big shots. The Bucks must keep their foot on the path.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Yo, thank you. Joel, who do class live sports TV? I thought you didn't know the process.
Well, there you go.
Alright, you didn't get seconds of that. Live sports, very good. Nah, no, it's not weird.
Okay. Why'd you change your nickname?
Right.
Keep that.
Blue House Live Sports.
Keep that.
Blue House Live Sports.
I'm Ken Jacobus, and I switched to the Smart Cash Card from Capital One. I earned unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy. And last year, I earned $36,000 in cash back, which I used to offer health insurance to my employees. What's in your wallet?
When it's time to head out, sometimes your last meal has a way of becoming your second to last. All true. I've been jail for 15 years now. We've got a lot of student Viking players. The last OG, watch on demand on the TBS app.
Tonight, the Champions League semifinals. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, watch on TNT stream on BeOnline. If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't playing the CPAP properly. And that continued until I got my soap clean.
SoClean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your CPAP equipment.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. SoClean has been a lifesaver.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-489-5331 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the SoClean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine and it makes that big a difference in my life.
Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-489-5331 or go to SoClean.com.
Making plans? Hey Siri, show me the basketball playoff schedule.
First year, something for the lowest playoff game for before the action tonight from the big to the Celtics. I definitely hope that's not how we're promoting today. Strongly get a grip. 4th and 16, he's leading the Celtics all assists. Can't find the shot right now. Henry the pick and roll. Always special. Great job by Minnesota. Moving his feet, looking at it. He's going to get it. Tough that is for a big man to be led.
Yo, what's rolling? Twisted Tuesday has begun. The Pips, the players, the hustlers, the patrons, everybody else in between. We step up and in as the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks throw it down. Milwaukee now up by 10. Meanwhile, Boston's other team is trailing 2-1 right now with 4 minutes left. We are on Columbus and the under. And we'll see what happens in the ensuing moments. I've been watching more of the basketball game, to be honest with you. But I'll check into the hockey game now that we're into the final moments of the game. 4 minutes left. We got a big game coming up at 10:30 tonight. We won't be with you for the entire game, but we'll be with you off the top here in a much discussed Scott Foster, James Harden, Chris Paul matchup here this evening. And I'll tell you what. I talked about it this morning. Charles Barkley continued to talk about it, and Barkley even brought it up that why would the NBA make Scott Foster the referee this evening? It's pretty much a big middle finger to the Houston Rockets. And, there's two schools of thought. A lot of people think, Houston are going to get calls tonight and stuff. They're not. You don't get calls by, publicly ripping the NBA like this and saying, there was 81 fucking calls wrong in last year's series and shit. You want to get into that, fuck. There's probably been 81 fucking calls wrong in the fucking series with the Sixers and the Raptors through 2 games. Boston's pushing. Columbus just have that. I don't know. There's something about them, man. We talked about it. If they're able to break through. Three minutes and 35 seconds remaining. Boston getting some pressure going. Bobrovsky's been playing awesome in the playoffs. I give him credit. I rip Russian goalies. I got to give credit where credit's due. Pretty entertaining. Very quick pace. Not enough hitting for my liking in today's NHL playoffs, but you can't say that it's not fast. It's good hockey. The players are awesome. Today's modern players are great. I'm not disputing it, and there's always a debate all the time about modern players versus yesteryear, and in the NBA it comes up all the motherfucking time. Hockey is one of the sports where there's not really, hockey was cooler before, but the players are better now. There's not really much disputing it. You know what I mean? They just are. There's not, they're faster. It's just it's not even a comparison, to be honest. I think the equipment has a lot to do with it. In the old days, man, there wasn't fucking science and computers and all this shit making skates and sticks and shit. Look at the goalie equipment. You know what I mean? Goalie equipment used to be fucking nothing. I mean, fuck, they didn't have fucking masks before. Which is fucking insane. Like I said, when I was a kid, I played with a mask, and that sucked, fuck. But I can't imagine fucking pucks. I guess I can. To those guys in those days, it was probably normal. Fuck, hey, just keep your head up. Fuck, you know what I mean? Don't get hit in the head. All right, so the Bruins have pulled the goalie here with over 2 minutes left. And Boston's not exactly, you know what I mean? Like, as we talked about it, the analytics said, all right, pull the goalie. Icing. These fucking people are crazy. Fuck this crap. Like, you know, for all the talk of like, ooh, non-traditional hockey markets all the time, these non-traditional hockey markets, the fans are pretty rabid, actually. You know, like the fans of Carolina are fucking into it. They're nut jobs. Look at these people. Everyone's standing and shit. If this was Toronto, not everybody would be standing right now. They'd tell you to sit down if you were standing. Like I said, my deal is I have to remember, like, these people, these fans are fucking, I can't win here. Blue Jackets win and a bunch of Ohio State fans are happy. Fucking Bruins win and a bunch of Boston sports fans are fucking happy. Can't win. See, this is an example of like pulling the goalie and shit. And Boston are in complete control of the puck. Like, it's like they're on the power play because of the extra man. They're a good team and they're utilizing it. Thing is, when the net is empty, you have to be really careful with your passes. You just have to be crisp and shit. And Columbus, that was a nice fucking play by Boston, man. Bergeron. They tried the old fucking deflection. I tell you, a really, really nice play by Bergeron. Great save by Bobrovsky. Fucking idiot, though, on fucking idiot on Columbus. Bobrovsky makes the save, and his own defenseman like crashes into him, and no one pushed him. Like, it's like, bro, I get it. It's frantic in front of the net here, but watch where you're going. I think it was Anderson, 77, like just fucking crushed the goalie there. This crowd is fucking intense, man. Seriously. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you are watching this. Look at this crowd. It's actually giving me a headache. The crowds, they're too rowdy. It's like, yeah, chill out, fuck. It's fucking waving these fucking towels and shit. It's blinding me. Oh. Oh, 50 seconds left. Oh, Columbus. Oh, just misses the empty net. And it leads to a fast break for Boston. That was hardcore by Boston. Fuck. I don't know. I think it was Pasternak. I don't know who it was. Fuck. Somebody fucking just drilled a slap shot from just inside center ice. Normally, it's not a good thing to do, but it's like, yeah, it fucking worked. He got the puck in. It worked. All right. The under is going to hit under 5.5. That's not supposed to happen, though. That's like fucking Pee-wee hockey play. Like, listen, I was a goalie, but like, yeah, I played shitty all the time and shit like that. Like, that's like the oldest fucking move in the fucking book, man. Like, that's like the first move you learn when you're a kid type shit. What Foligno just did, he just played it off the boards. He's like, bang, off the boards, go around. And it actually worked. Like, usually in the NHL, that shit doesn't work. 9 seconds. Columbus doing a good job. Oh. Last shot. Oh. Columbus wins. 2-1. Game goes under. And we gave you the Jackets, so 2-0 there. That was a fun ending. What happened, Lisa? What's going on? What's up, JS? What's going on, Lisa? What happened? Was there like a hurricane that just flew, a tornado, I mean, that just flew past you? No, you're right in the middle of this shit. What's up, Matthias? Good call, Kovacs. We'll say a prayer for you, Lisa. You'll get through it. You just got to hope, like, listen, say, hey, you haven't been hit yet. Right? On the positive, you haven't been hit yet. This is what happens. I'm so caught up in the sports world here. And you see today, too, what are the chances? Like, we never talk about UNC Charlotte. We never talk about UNC Charlotte. And today we had on Cedric Maxwell, who was the star at UNC Charlotte, and we were talking about how, think about how crazy it is. Think about how crazy it is. Yeah, that Cedric Maxwell got UNC Charlotte to the Final Four, which would be unheard of. And now tonight, a big shooting at the university tonight. As the no, Sinbad, do you not read the pics that I post on the website, buddy? No, I'm on the Warriors. So yeah, we hope everyone's all right, but pretty crazy right now. Tornadoes, shootings, like, I don't know, man. I guess because it's summertime and shit coming. There's something in the air, man. God's angry again. But we pretty much can't go a day. We pretty much can't go a day without like fucking something stupid happening in the world, man. Like every day now. Like around the world, like, they had the Sri Lanka stuff, the New Zealand stuff a couple of weeks ago, where everyone's desensitized to it. And people in America, North America, really only care if it happens to them. Right? Like Sri Lanka, it was like fucking 300 people got fucking killed at one time. 300-400 people or something. New Zealand. And it's like the little, it goes back and forth now. A mosque gets shot and a synagogue gets shot up. And like, it's like, it's like everyone's just fucking doing stupid shit, man. ISIS for payback of the mosque they got. ISIS did the fucking Sri Lanka shit on Easter as payback for the mosque that got shot up. Yeah, now you got every fucking day, there's like a new fucking homegrown type shit. The kid in San Diego the other fucking day. There's a fucking Coast Guard guy that wants to fucking kill everybody. There's some Marine they busted yesterday, an Army guy. He wanted to fuck Las Vegas up. His plan was to make fucking the Las Vegas thing look like nothing. Pretty crazy too. He was gonna he wanted to basically blow up the highway. Innovative, I'll give you that. It's not your standard attack. Yeah, this guy basically wanted to blow up the highway. you know, he was a veteran, so he was going to line up the. But this guy, see, like I said, like there's all different sides of this now. Like everyone's sort of pissed. Like this guy was a U.S. vet who basically fucking stated that they never should have been there, and they've done a lot of bad things, so there's payback, and he's going to fucking pay back for all the people that they fucked up back on the homeland. You know, so like I said, they're coming from all angles right now. I imagine like law enforcement, fuck, their hands are full. like I can't even imagine just daily, like fucking like, oh shit, there's this threat and this fucking dude and this gang and that. And like, it's out there. It's crazy. Like you create a monster. It's sort of like, you know, if you pour enough gasoline on something, eventually like it'll start, other fires will start, like the ones you didn't intend to start. So yeah, it's a crazy ass world right now. So we wish you the best, Lisa. And this tornado season, man, in the South and in Oklahoma and stuff. That shit's fucking crazy. You never know, man, when your roof's just gonna get fucking torn off. like, all right, Jeff Feinberg is going to join us in a minute. As he appears to be having some video issues. Kyle asked, do I drink coffee? No, I don't drink coffee, no. I don't like the taste of coffee. And in fact, I accidentally bought an ice cream cone that had coffee in it by mistake, and it really pissed me off, actually. I still ate it, but I didn't like it. Like, it was like, you know, I thought it was, I was misgiven. I don't know. I thought it was chocolate something, but it was like chocolate and coffee something, which is actually interesting because I do like the chocolate bar coffee crisp, which I don't think they have here, to be honest. I've noticed I've never seen coffee crisp here. Not that I've really looked, to be honest, too much, but I would have noticed. Yeah, there's no coffee crisp here. There's Kit Kat. You know what chocolate bar there's not here either? There's no crunchy bar. That's I guess that's a Canadian and British thing. Basically, Nestle is the biggest chocolate company in the world. Like all that shit's Nestle, you know. Nestle makes all this shit. So it's just weird that they would have other stuff that's Nestle here, but not that. But yeah, Nestle Crunch is in Canada. Yeah, all the Hershey shit. Hershey is there. But yeah, there's no crunchy bar. Caramilk is another one that you never see here. I don't really try them too much. Sometimes I look, you got your Babe Ruths and your $1,000 bars and all that shit. I know our boy Feinberg loves that. That's his favorite thing about America, like the fucking grocery stores and the cereal. And like, dude, you should see some of the shit they have now, bro. Like, it's like chocolate infused, chocolate this, like some of this cereal shit. It's not cereal. It's like, it's basically just a box of sugar. It's like fucking, like I live in a trendier neighborhood, Jeff, like Trader Joe's and shit, but Vegas is where it's at, bro. Fucking Vegas, man. Walmart, the fucking grocery store, man. Like, it's really like, it's out of the Simpsons type shit. Like, there's actually like fucking 500-pound people rolling fucking down the aisle with their cart. And there's literally like, they're getting a fucking big ass size fucking Pepsis and fucking
Get-
big bags of fucking chips that are the size of like a fucking linebacker and shit, bro.
Yeah, Gabe, but my wife doesn't like it when I choose to do it. But when we're down in Florida, I love going to like Walmart and like I don't live dangerously, but me going to like Walmart in the dangerous part of Florida, like that's me living dangerously, and I just like observe it and I love it, and I love the options even for myself. I love just like taking it all in on many levels. You can break that down, but and you know, like the States is like pretty scary. Like in Toronto, for the most part, or like in Canada, Gabe, it feels like the bad neighborhoods, like they're kind of out of reach. Like you got to go to get there. In America, it's like everything's like gated because you're literally like you make one wrong turn and you're literally in a really bad part of town when like 4 seconds ago you were like fine. But like Toronto doesn't really have that at all. But like Florida, you make one wrong turn and it's like, where the fuck am I? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah,
And I
those
feel like,
old school though, that shit's it's almost done. Like it's such a health world we live in. You know what I mean?
yeah, of course, but
But
still,
look, to be honest, look, Canadian grocery stores are pretty fucking good though. Like if you want,
yeah,
shit, they've got pretty much everything. You know?
yeah. They got it all.
It's not, but it's a little healthier. Like it's different.
There's a
It's
couple
not like
less.
portions are different.
Yeah,
Like
I would just
here.
say there's a few more aisles of goodies in this. Like we have a lot of shit here, but they got a little bit. They got like a couple aisles more shit. Like that's all. Yeah.
Like people don't realize like the difference like with the medium and the large and shit. Like the large in Canada is like the medium here. You know what I mean?
Oh, but even like to go to restaurants, like your American eateries here, like the amount of food they give you there when you go out for a
Oh,
meal.
fuck, it's disgusting. Fuck. I know you feel bad because you can't eat it all. But it's like,
Yeah, and I don't know. Listen, I'm a big
I
guy.
was at a hotel once, Jeff. I swear to God, bro. It was like for a family of four, man. And I was drunk too, and I was eating it. The cheese was like burning my face and shit. I was getting all blinded. I'm trying to pound it down because I'm like, all right, I got to eat the game. It's like this big thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was with T-Bone in a fucking casino once, and T-Bone ordered a sandwich and fries. And they're like, would you like a basket of fries? He's like, no, I just want fries. They're like, well, it's a basket of fries. He's like, whatever, fuck, you know? He goes, eat a fucking fries. So they come back. It's literally, bro, a fucking basket of French fries. And even T-Bone, he actually got mad. He goes, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Fuck. He's like, it's like this big. He goes, you guys are fucking whack, man. He goes, this is why everyone's fat, fuck. You know, he's like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's a fucking basket of fries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
It's like taking up the whole table and shit.
Yeah. But even like you go to 7-Eleven or something there, it's like they give you like that supersized drink for like 80 cents and a bottle of water is like $2.50. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm thirsty and, you know, every dollar matters. So, you know, fill up my jug, I guess. You know?
That's why, though, basically, America's like the most unhealthy country in the world. Which is like, it's fucking crazy too. Like, it freaks me out. Like, there's a massive difference, bro.
Yeah. But like, you go to, like, I don't know.
Like, put it this way, Jeff. I'm in New York City where, you know, there's like models on the street and shit like that, right?
Yeah, and you lived in LA.
You're going to get, you know, there's a lot of variety here. But for the most part, most of the women are pretty chunky. like, just big. Like Americans are just big. They're big people, but like sometimes I just see them like pouring out of McDonald's and shit in the morning. I'm like, holy motherfuck, man. It's just like like you said, they just crush this shit. Fuck, you know?
Yeah. And I joke, like look at me, I realize, but I used to joke with you, Gabe. Like I go to the States for a week, like I just feel better about myself. Because in Canada I look around like I'm usually the biggest guy in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
But like in the States, you know, as big as I am, there's always like a handful of guys
No,
bigger.
you're totally fine compared to exactly.
You know, but like in Toronto, and like I'm in the room, I'm in
You're
the
like, you
office. I mean,
notice the difference, exactly.
yeah, yeah, like
Toronto, you're all like, fuck, everyone's in good shape around me, right?
yeah, it's like I'm the biggest guy in this
You
room.
feel all
Like,
right
yeah,
about yourself.
yeah, it's like it is what it is. But like I'm self aware enough to know, like, yeah, I'm the fattest guy in this room. But I go to the States, like I don't know, I'm pretty, you know, like it's just I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
fucking gold.
Cam jokes about it too.
Yeah, Cap said the same thing.
Oh,
You really want to get freaked out is when you go to fucking Montreal, man. Montreal, it's like fucking, it's like even the fucking like homeless people are dressed well and shit like that. Like
Yeah,
you're like,
Gabe, I remember being in
like
Montreal, and the
McDonald's are
pizza
hot in
guy,
Montreal.
Gabe, the pizza guy in Montreal made fun of me and my friend because we were like staying at his brother's place when we were like younger, and we were like coming in a lot. Like he made fun of us for being like so fat. In Montreal, like the snobby French guy working a pizza joint, like still telling us
You guys
like,
come here too much, yeah. Like, dude, I was in Montreal last year. I was in a Subway, fucking like the restaurant, not the Metro. Like I was in a Subway. I swear to God, like the chick was like a model. I was thinking it's just fucked up. I'm like, only in Montreal, like some chick this hot. We
yeah,
make this our subs. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everyone in the stores is staring at her. Fucking, it was like, I was gonna tell her. I was gonna say, you know, nothing against your job you had, but you know, you could really like be working anywhere probably. Like fucking.
Just getting tips, you could probably get.
Oh
like,
yeah. Like it's just, but you know, somebody brought it up the other day. Like people, like they don't know because everyone's hot in Montreal. Like it's just
I guess
the weird thing. Europe's like that too, man. I was in Portugal, and I was on the street in Lisbon, and I was like, "Holy fuck, man!" Like, just everybody was. It was like there was like no ugly people. Everyone was in shape. Everyone dressed nicely. Even Manhattan's like that too. Like there's something about it. Like you look at these I see these business chicks on like I take the ferry in and shit, and like man, like they're everywhere. Like everything matches. Their boots, their jacket, this, that. It's like they don't fuck around here. Fuck with this shit. Fuck.
No. But you also lived in LA too. But LA, I guess it's less like you have your pockets of like everyone's gorgeous, but
Yeah, LA. I don't know. I lived in LA in the late '80s, where I was just around like sort of just metalheads. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really see much.
but
Like
it's also like perfect. I went to visit my parents in like Arizona, and like around a ton of like a lot of more in fit people than like a lot of other places too. You know?
well, Vancouver's like that too, bro. It's a fucking that's just like the fittest city in Canada. Fuck. But like you notice it, like when I went to San Diego, you know, it was pretty much like what I thought it would be. Like the first thing I saw in San Diego was some fucking blonde dude that fucking crossing the street with a surfboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
I
course.
was like, wow, that's kind of like what I thought it was going to be, and it actually was.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
San Diego was like that too, dude. Like me, Mick Aussie, and T-Bone went out to a bar on Mission Beach after a bunch of bars, and we were like fucking lepers, bro. Like it was just too good looking and too ripped and too surfish. And you know what I mean? Like we started at one spot. It was like, all right, we're not really fitting in here. You know, we went to another spot. All right, let's just go further down. Like finally was like, fuck this. Let's just go back to LA. You know, like San Diego is a little too in shape and uppity for my liking.
I don't.
Nice place,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Nice place, but it's real sad with the shooting there the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
talking about it tonight. Like, it's pretty much every day now. Eh? Like, you know, black church burned, synagogue shot, fucking.
I heard you talking, and the types of threats. I mean, the amount of threats, like any major metropolitan city, like what they're going. Not even. I shouldn't even say that because a lot of these
No,
towns.
small towns even. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I don't know where they have the resources to keep up or follow up on. Is it some kid just talking shit on the internet, or is this kid like real? Like, a lot of them. Some have records. A lot of them have no fucking past history, criminal records at all to indicate like today's the day they're gonna fucking do it. So I don't know, man. I'm like super paranoid, but I swear to you, I go anywhere with my family now. Like I'm looking, like I scan the room, like something happened. Like where's like I'm always like, where's the exit? Like I swear to you, I'm
Yeah,
not even
it is.
kidding.
Not a dumb thing.
Movie theater, restaurant, like where the fuck is what is the escape route? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's too many fucking movies, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a scary fucking world. I mean it.
Especially, you know what, in Toronto too. There's a couple of times a year in Toronto. There's going to be like random shit. You know what I mean? Like each city has like different numbers. Your average of getting shot and shit. And Toronto's actually pretty alarmingly high. You have like a 1 in like 90,000 chance of getting shot, which is pretty high compared to like some other places actually. Like fucking, like put it in context, like a football stadium, like someone's getting shot type thing today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like you put it that way, right? It's like, well, one of you's getting shot today on the way out. But nevertheless, so you know what? I didn't really. We talked about the Chargers and quarterbacks and shit. They ended up getting one, but not a guy that's going to be like a threat or anything like that. Just the sort of guy you can stash, but if anything, he's got a cool name.
Yeah.
It's like the hockey stick, Easton Stick.
I'm not totally. I mean, we talked about it both scenarios and the Tyrod Taylor thing. Once people really broke that thing down for me, and the relationship
No, you were totally right about that.
between Taylor and Lynn, and they're really excited, Gabe. I mean, like the talk around me. I mean, there's an expectation now. It was a very humbling out that sort of still leaves a sour taste in our mouth for how the season ended. Because everyone seemed overwhelmed. I mean, not just the defense, like Phillips seemed over, so a lot of things that like I take with me that were concerning the coaching staff, Rivers,
Yeah.
the defense.
I had it to you.
It was an overwhelming loss, and we were in over our heads. But I'm genuinely really excited, Gabe, about what this team can be. Obviously, all chips are sort of in. I thought the draft worked out very well for them, as when they were picking fell in line with needs. I hope they're not done. I really hope there's another big chip to play here. And for me, that chip, and I'll say it again, there have been some underground rumblings about it. I hope it's real, and that would be a guy like Namdekong Suh, who is still a free agent.
Yeah.
Maybe he really enjoyed his time in LA. Maybe he's got a girlfriend in a condo he doesn't want to get rid of at the moment.
You're right. Just be a parasite and take Ram guys who want to stay in LA.
Yeah, I don't know, but like that would really, I just think it's still.
Well, look, and honestly, too,
we have 3 or 4 nose tackles like signed. Period, Gabe. Yes, they drafted the kid Tillery, who by most accounts was a really strong pick that people liked. And the guy they got in the second round, Nasir Adderley, and for all the mocks and stuff that I trusted in Ren, I know the mocks are what they are, but a lot of mocks had us taking some had us taking one of these guys in the first round, others mocks had us taking the other guy, and we got both. So we didn't draft high to really get raved about, but I think it was a good draft. I think for the Chargers. And it's, the draft happens, Gabe, and I don't know, something flipped on me. Like, I'm real freaking fired up. I don't think I'm being biased to say, like, they could be a really good fucking team again next year.
That. Even me as a Bills fan, I was fired up after. I'm like, man, this is our best lineup we've had in years. Like, this is.
I know. Oh, my God. I mean, I could skip right over the Chargers, and we could do that another day, because outside of Chargers football, there is nothing that has me more excited about the NFL than the AFC East. Because I've told you before, I love the Jets. I love the Bills. The Dolphins have got a good thing going
The
finally.
Dolphins bring in Josh Rosen to match the young quarterbacks in this division now suddenly, right?
They're all in the same draft class. And I got to admit, I don't watch nearly as much college football as you, Gabe, but the Patriots took fucking guys that always leaped off the TV for me. That Arizona State receiver, anytime I was up late to jenning a fucking game, that guy, they say he doesn't get the greatest separation. If you got an accurate QB, that guy doesn't need an ounce of
The
separation.
kid's a playmaker.
And that Vanderbilt a fucking corner, every time they got one of those Thursday night like crazy Vanderbilt games, that guy, I always noticed him. Like he was a player. And they got that Vinovich kid who,
if he went to out of Michigan, classic football player, exactly.
If he went to any other team, I'd be like, I don't know, they won't put him in the proper spots to do what he does great. And he goes to New England. You're like, oh my god, they're gonna fucking scheme this guy perfectly. But I'm so excited to see.
And they bring in Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, a guy who I told you was my sort of sleeper favorite quarterback. So they drafted a lot of players I like. So that makes me feel good about, myself, because if they're drafting them, those guys obviously got game.
And that's the thing too, because I didn't like Stidham, so I'd say it sort of makes me look bad in the sense that
they're usually good with those.
Belichick over Morency, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they got a nice history of backup quarterbacks, just drafting them and doing good things. I mean, Jimmy G's the focal point, but there have been a handful of guys that they just sort of
done a good job with that, yeah.
That they do make good on those. But obviously I'm so excited, as I was saying, for the Bills and the Jets. And I think
was Jacoby Brissett was there before, wasn't he?
Yeah. Brissett, NC State, and I swear to you, there's probably another one.
Well, there's other guys that made money. I mean, Matt Castle, and guys that
Ryan Mallett, I want to say, even got there, and
Mallett never learned anything.
So obviously the Dolphins aren't there with the Bills and the Jets yet in terms of being ready to challenge New England. But I'm not saying, but I'm just really excited to see which one of which one of the Bills or the Jets I would assume is going to get there to knocking the Patriots off first. I'm not Tim Anderson and every year going to call it, but I'm I don't even think it'd be more than an even odds bet, but within the next 2 years, I'm not going out on a limb, one of these teams is going to knock off the Patriots.
Yeah, it's coming. You're right.
And I'm all three of those quarterbacks who I all loved at the draft are in that division. There's only the only negative, and my buddy who loves the Dolphins, that he said to me, everything is perfect. The trade worked out. They worked the board perfectly to make that trade. But there's one doomsday scenario that all real Dolphin fans are acknowledging is in play here. It's that Rosen is good enough to win people over, but in the end he's just if he's just a 7-9 guy, and they don't, and the Tuas or the Tuas or the Froms or the Herberts, a couple of them become superstars. If in the end Rosen being good enough to prevent them from being where they want to be at the top of next year's draft, and then those guys end up hitting for other teams, that is if Rosen's good but not great, is sort of my point, right?
Yeah, but what's even crazier though? So what if Josh Rosen's in the exact same spot next year that he's in?
Yeah, he might be. Yeah. Because even with Rosen
taking Tua.
Yeah, because even with Rosen there, it's still not a very. I mean, you could Rosen, think he's a good prospect. I think he's a good quarterback prospect.
The thing is, though,
he's bad.
You can't predict that far ahead in the NFL with NFL drafts. The fact is, a couple of months ago, Kyler Murray wasn't even playing fucking football. He was going to be playing baseball. Shit changes. Anything could happen this year. Who knows with the Dolphins? You can, they like Tua, they like Tua. We don't know. You know what I mean? It's a lot of speculation and stuff. And I got to believe that almost they're not in love with Tua if they traded for Rosen. Because if they really were, they would say, you know what? Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Because they have a new coach there. The Flores guy comes from the Belichick tree. He's a defensive guy.
And do you know who else is?
Supposedly, he doesn't like young, flashy shit. And honestly, if you look at the Dolphins draft, it's very blue collar. Like it's not sexy, but it's basically, look, the cupboard's bare. We got to get physically tougher. He's all about getting physically tougher, sort of like the Bills mentality. And he went really tough. And he might said, you know what? I don't want this fucking scrambling sort of quarterback. I'll go with the traditional guy. Supposedly, the Flores guy liked Rosa. I find it weird they would trade a second-round pick for someone knowing that they like someone next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And people, I didn't even realize this, but obviously it seems like they made some good personnel hires in Miami, and they finally have a forward-thinking draft process. But Jim Caldwell's there.
Yeah.
I think he's a great guy to be there for a young quarterback. We can all make our Caldwell jokes. I don't think, if for whatever reason the Chargers are to fire a coach tomorrow, I don't know that I would want Caldwell as my team's head coach. But sort of in
coach. He's not a great coach. He's a good
no,
coach.
but sort of in the vein of some great,
Look,
Greg
the
Williams.
Lions were better with him than they were under Matt Patricia.
And I think he'll get another chance to be a head coach again. But, for the moment, if he's going to sort of have that North Turner, Wade Phillips.
I think he's going to sort of become that the assistant head coach, sort of advisor. You know what I mean? Like you said, he's there out of respect right now. And what's his job title? I think it's basically assistant head coach. It is.
Yeah, I don't think he's coordinator.
Yeah,
so it's probably like offensive assistant head coach. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
sort of that. He's the fucking adult in the room type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I like when rookie head coaches surround themselves. I was, even for the Chargers when Lynn got the job to get guys like Gus Bradley and Ken Wisenhunt. And the way even now the Chargers and even following
didn't the Cardinals do that actually? Who did the Cardinals? Kingsbury. Who was his guys? Let me see.
I don't even remember. His offensive coordinator feels like just a patsy though, because that'll be him.
It's him.
But yeah, I think they hired someone for the defense.
No, but I was just saying the people that are around. I was like, oh yeah, you know what? He's actually got a staff around him here. You know what I mean? Like, because he knows nothing, right? So he's gonna have to have some fucking people around him. All right, his defensive coordinator is Vance Joseph.
Yeah, who was a great defensive coordinator in both Miami, but before he went to Miami, I want to say in Houston.
Yeah, and a guy that can say, listen, I was a head coach. I got ripped by the media. Don't do this. He can sort of tell them, you're going to watch out for this as a coach here. They're going to try to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
He can help them out a bit from being a head coach and from that, hey, watch out, they're out to get you type shit. Tom Clements, who's actually CFL guy, passing game quarterback coach. All right, so I guess it's Vance Joseph. So that's the guy.
But yeah, sort of like you joked like last week, but yeah, something about the draft game, it just flips it in me. Like, yeah, I think it's early. I wish I didn't have this much adrenaline.
Well, it's like the final week before it gets real again, right? Like next time, it's sort of you have a little mini camp, training camp. I think it's like even the sports books, dude, popped out all the numbers after, right? Like even Vegas and FanDuel here and everyone, they were all like, all right, you know what I mean? It's time. Like I got some Charger props for you, and you saw.
Nope.
To make the playoffs.
I hope so. Probably pretty juicy.
And now,
minus 280, minus 300, minus 250.
No, they were actually pretty fucking good. And now you got the Chiefs are fucking falling apart again. Tyreek Hill's not play anymore for them.
I'm pretty fired up about that, Gabe.
Like he's not. Like they can't. Like they even said, "Oh, we're going to do the right thing," which means he's done. Like the Chiefs, the Chiefs have fucking already looked bad with Kareem Hunt. Remember the ultra guy?
Even Frank fucking Clark, man, the guy they just
Frank
traded for
Clark,
and gave
they
him
traded
$100
for
million to. Yeah, they look real bad. They're taking a lot of.
Remember, Belcher killed his girlfriend and then killed himself in the parking lot. Like, they've had a bad track record, man. And like the owner's getting called out. The kid there, Clark Hunt, he's getting called out now. Like,
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, by a lot of like not Gabe.
By mainstream people that are rights holders, it surprised me. Like
Gabe,
Florio, Lackenfora, like CBS, NBC, they're going after him.
But not even just in this new like world order culture. Not even just sports and football outlets are going after him. Like the like real news is going after him.
Well, there's a fucking pattern here, and and then he trades for Frank Clark. Like, it's like it's hard to say, oh, Kansas City, poor them. It's just you have to be responsible at some point for the players that you're taking, and they just don't seem to care.
Yeah,
they just don't. I'm scrolling here. I gotta find. There's so much fucking shit out here. We'll find it though. But yeah, I mean, you guys are clearly favorites to win this fucking division.
Yeah, geez. Mahomes is so good. Are we favorites or is it just like a tie? Because they would be favorites if everything like was going.
Well, I'm saying to me, all right. I'm getting close. We're close. Keep scrolling. We're close. Oh, boom! I found it.
Vladdy Jr.'s up, Gabe.
Oh, nice. You see Drake hugging him and shit, trying to get in on it. It's never ends.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Fuck Drake. Like, really, Drake? Oh well, I'll play for people. It's like, fuck off, dude. And it's crazy too. I'll play it right now. This is the best actually. Where I'm telling you, which is funny. Like, you hear a voice say, "Oh, he's very excited to meet you," and you can tell that Vlad Jr. really doesn't seem to be that excited, And there's a chick there, and I think it's his sister, which I think it's Vladdy's daughter, actually. And she totally doesn't look all that, like, overly impressed either. It's like, yeah, Drake. You know what I mean? Like, this fucking dude, man, Captain fucking Curse. Here he is. It's actually pretty funny when you see the daughter. It's not like it's like, oh my, you can tell like when it's real and they have the smile on their face. It's like, oh, we're excited. Like, I don't know. Does Vladdy fucking Jr. fucking know who the fuck Drake is?
Probably, but I don't know.
Is he
not care.
Like, here it is. Here's the video.
The city, man. Great game.
See, she doesn't look overly like freaked out. That she's really great.
We were in the kitchen watching all this stuff, all the highlights. I'm excited. Yeah. To come see you guys.
There's two.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. That's right. You want to take a picture?
So can we take a picture of you guys? Yeah, thank you so much.
It's all good.
Okay, here we go.
I don't think.
He might actually be genuinely starstruck too. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't think he understands personally.
No, that's.
I think he was standing there knowing, this guy's Drake. You notice, like, the only time he ever really moved was when they said take a picture. Because how many times in his life has Vlad Jr. been out to get picture? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So he's like, all right, he sort of just automatically went into the picture mode, like.
And it's not something that bothers me, Gabe. But there's a lot of like fucking hardos here that. They criticize him for not having made like a good effort to learn English, but sort of like his dad, he's just gonna fucking play that to the fucking end, I think.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I told the story. Vladimir Guerrero did one interview in 7 years in Montreal with me.
Yeah, and what he say is only English. He says like KFC or some shit.
Dude, he fucking Manny Acta, who's now a manager, was actually the interpreter for the interview.
Yeah,
he said shit. He did not speak English. And it was awkward. I was in a shower with him. Fuck. It was like in this little shower. He's in a towel only. I got Manny Acta there. We're all squeezed in together. Fucking, because he didn't want anyone to see. Because he said they were like, if they see me, if you see me, he goes, everyone's going to want to do an interview. So he wants to do it privately. And they're like, he's only doing, he likes you and shit. And he told me at the end in English, he goes, I will miss you, he said. And he said basically that he wouldn't go to Washington on my show. He said he's not going with them. Like, it's over. He said he's an Expo in Montreal and he's not a Washington National. He's like, it's over. And he went to the Angels after. But so it's crazy. So it was with an interpreter and shit. And there was a chick that worked at my radio station, bro. And she wasn't drop dead hot, but she was media hot type shit.
Yeah.
And she used to do news. She'd do scrums and shit. But she had a fucking Saturday night show called The Sweet Spot. And in the studio, it was nuts, bro. Like, she could get anybody. Like, I could get Carl Dykhouse on the show. She could get fucking Jose Theodore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she used to get wine and fucking booze and shit. And she'd have candles in the studio. And she'd have her hot friend come in. So the athletes would all go in and fucking do it and shit. And she was the one that told me, she's like, Vladimir Guerrero speaks perfect English. She goes, he, like you said, she goes, he just doesn't do it like in front of people. Like,
and though, to that point though, everybody sort of
way of not doing interviews. Sorry, no English. You know what I mean? Like,
and it was a pretty well known fact based on pretty much everybody that made the sort of like final handful of Blue Jay manager interviews is they all fucking spoke fucking Spanish.
Yeah.
There was no,
you know what I mean? Like, it's the, so you know too, Vladimir Jr., dude, he's been in Buffalo. He's been in fucking Florida and shit. He's been talking English to what people for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like, Vladimir Guerrero does not speak English a lot, but basically the moral was, if you're a hot chick, he'll speak English to you. Like, but you know, that's what she said. She goes, oh, he speaks English pretty good to us. That's when she started laughing. She goes, he speaks English better than he's letting on, Morency. That's what she was telling me. And, but, you know, his kid, I don't know, like, how good it is, but it's a good buffer zone. And, of course, like, if you're Sammy Sosa, of course, when you appear in front of Congress and you're accused of doing steroids, you can just go, I don't understand what you guys are asking me. Remember that? Sosa, like, I don't understand a question. I don't speak English enough. Like, I don't know.
the best.
It's like, that was the best. I don't know what you're asking me. I don't understand. Like, it's like, Sammy, we've seen you speak English for the last 15 years, bro. Like, fucking suddenly, Sammy Sosa's suddenly white, and he's suddenly, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, like, it's convenient though. It's a good, you know, it's a good way not to talk to the media. You say, I don't fucking speak. All right, so the PGA Championship, I don't really get too fired up for these other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's worth a bet or whatever. I'll play a little DFS with it, but the PGA is what, in 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, a few weeks.
19th, 18th, 19th type shit?
Yeah. Middle of May, yeah.
Next week, I actually have Jason Day coming on the show.
Oh, fucking right. Pretty cool. He might win this week.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of, like, you know, I haven't interviewed like a lot of big time golf. Like, you know, we've interviewed a lot of people over the years, you know what I mean? But like, even think back to the hardcore days, and like, off the top of your head, was there ever like, oh, we had a cool golfer on? Like,
nah, Cam would shoot the shit with like Brad Faxon. That was about it.
Brad Paxton.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we never had, like, you know, fucking Phil Mickelson or Tiger Woods, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
never.
You know, and on Jason Day's not quite that, but it's big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
He's a big golfer. You know, so yeah. So you're saying what? It's the Wells Fargo this week. You think Jason Day's got a shot?
Yeah, I'm not picking him, but I think he won it here last year, actually, if memory serves me correct. So he absolutely has a shot. I mean, I think he's 10-1, but
they play in the same place all the time, so it's always at Quail Hollow.
Yeah, it's a very popular course. Guys like Rory and Ricky both won their first ever tournaments here, so they're always happy to come back. There's some big names at the very, very top here. The card sort of lacks like a middle group in the field.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
4-1 range is sort of missing. Rory always, plays, incredibly well here. Scary good, but, he's 6-1, sort of untouchable. Fowler also another guy that always kind of plays really well here, but it's a hard number. Again, but if you're really into the guys at the top, that might be who I would like. Going a little farther back, I like Woodland and Paul Casey there, Gabe. Aaron Wise, Luke List. Those would be the four that I'd get.
Aaron Wise, 55-1. Where's Luke List at? What, 80-1?
Yeah, he's 81.
I'm looking here.
I bet List a lot. So at this point, I just like I'm almost betting him, so I don't miss it. But he can be a very frustrating golfer. I'm not gonna lie.
What are the odds on? Where's my guy here? Jason Kokrak, 40-1.
Yeah, he's been.
Is this motherfucker ever gonna win? Because it seems like the computer likes this guy all the time.
Yeah, and he's been fucking in that range, that betting range for a while. He's been real solid. He hasn't been able to break through. I don't know. I know a lot of guys that have been betting him consistently because it feels like it's coming. I've yet
He's
to.
more of like a prop better, like top 20, top 10 type.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe even top 5. I don't know. I just haven't been there. And granted, I'm on my own fucking cold streak, so. But I don't know. I don't have the balls to bet Kokrak at those prices.
Guys at the top, so you got Rory, you got Rose, you got Day, you got Fowler. What about Hideki this week?
Yeah, Hideki's been so good.
40-1.
If he doesn't start +4, then he seems like
Understand the difference is I'd rather have Hideki at 20-1 than Rory at 6-1. You know.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I really like Finau this week too. It sort of feels like this place works for him, but he doesn't bring much win equity to the table. Hideki and Finau, I think, could both make strong plays.
So what's the thing next week? They play this week, and then what is it like leading into the PGA one?
Next week they're in Texas. I think it's the Byron Nelson.
So it doesn't really matter. So this is sort of the last sort of big tune-up, or the Byron Nelson?
Yeah, it's the last big. I don't think there'll be that many big names there next week.
So this is sort of the last sort of big
and Tiger. I mean, a couple things worth noting. Justin Thomas is withdrawn. He has a bit of a wrist injury that he suffered a couple months ago, and this was the host venue of the PGA Championship, Wells Fargo, Quail Hollow, a couple years ago. So. And Justin Thomas won here. So he's probably dealing with something serious to not be here. And lots being made about Tiger was on the fence about coming, decided not to come. And Gabe, that essentially confirms Tiger will not have made a single start between the Masters win and the PGA Championship. But who gives a fuck, I guess, right?
It's, you know what? I might not be the golf expert, but I talked about this. I brought it up. You and I talked about it.
He's healthy and rested.
Only interested in majors now, bro. That's his.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The rest of his life, he's got 4 more to fucking go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Bethpage is a place that he's kind of familiar with, and sort of like other great players, Gabe. I mean, you look at where Tiger's won in his comeback at Eastlake for the PGA, for the Tour Championship and the Masters.
So is he allowed to go play there now, type shit?
Where, the Masters?
No, at like the PGA.
Yeah, he could do whatever he wants. They'd be happy to have any of these guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, all right, so he's not playing at these other places. He could just go and show.
That doesn't mean
he can go set up on Long Island now and just say, you know what, I'm going to start fucking around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he would stay there, but you're Tiger Woods. You bring the Learjet in for a fucking day trip.
Yeah, you can play a round or two, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of like NASCAR. You're not allowed. You can't just tell them, can I come sample the track? You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. No.
There's no rule that, no, you can't come here and play 4 days in a row or something, right?
Yeah, no, they would. Yeah, they would accommodate him. I think a lot of the
guys really don't do that because they figure, they know the course already, or it doesn't.
No, I think guys do. No, guys do that. I think some of the better named players, Gabe, might not come like now, but they might have gone like a month ago to like scout it out a week they weren't playing. Yeah, no, it's a very common thing. This is, of course, people the PGA Championship will be familiar with, but and sort of as I was alluding to, Tiger, it seems like he's going to play very well at the places he's historically played very well at. It doesn't seem like there's any hiding that at this point.
All right, Houston.
And the San Jose Sharks just scored, if anyone cares.
Oh, they did. I never know this hockey shit. Houston and Golden State about to tip off. It should be an entertaining game with all this referee bullshit and everything else. I actually think Golden State's going to get it done, guys. We win the first leg of the parlay. We told you Milwaukee would show up tonight. Golden State are up to 5.5 right now. It's not a lot of points to lay with the Warriors. Like, I think the Warriors get it done. So Scott Foster and Ed Malloy, of course, like the two worst referees in the league, get sent to do the game. What a shock. What a motherfucking shock. All right, so yeah, here are the odds for the Chargers. LA Chargers. Will the LA Chargers make the playoffs? Yes, minus 220. No, plus 180.
Well, I only know.
Not a lot of value there. At minus 220. I didn't remember what it was, to be honest. I thought it was like minus 170 or something like that. But so pretty much, I mean, Chargers, the sports books are pretty much putting you, this is the Westgate too, so it's reputable. They're pretty much putting you in the fucking playoffs here at minus 220.
Yeah, people are pretty excited about us, Gabe.
Well, I think it's the fact of division too that you play in.
Yeah,
Denver's rebuilding. Denver's okay, but they're rebuilding, and Flacco's not scaring anybody.
The roster is strong. This is a team that over the last couple of years, they've made like those natural progression steps that people like to see. They took 7-9, 8-8, turned it to 12-4, and a playoff win. So I feel like those are the types of teams that like Vegas or people. And it doesn't always work that way because the Patriots just end up winning there. But what's the next step? The next step's hopefully a couple more playoff wins, or at least another one.
One thing KC did fucking sort of address some defensive woes though in the offseason.
Yeah.
They've done a nice job with that.
Their secondary got the honey badger, but I still think that it's something that the Chargers hopefully take advantage of.
Whatever. The Chargers are like the Raptors, bro.
Yeah, fair. That's a good,
right? Who cares about the regular season? They've got to get it done in the playoffs, right? So that's what they'll be judged on. But they'll have an opportunity. We'll see if they can build the fan base up a little bit next year, due to the success. And LA is a trendy town, so if they're winning, there's no reason why people won't jump on the wagon.
Gabe, the LA Times, literally the first time they ever did something nice for us. They wrote a great article today about how amazed they were with the turnout, the Chargers draft party. They were like interviewing people. These people weren't actors. Like people, no, like they rented the Santa Monica Pier. It was packed. Like there's pictures. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's like, where did all these people come out from? But yeah, so I mean, listen, LA, there's 100 great events going on in a night, but there was like this middle thing, like, what the hell? These people do exist, like these fans. So around the league, the people that do it, a lot of people taking notice. It's like something really. Listen, I'm not comparing it like saying it's hardcore, but everyone who seemed to have saw it were like blown away by the turnout. So good for them.
Yeah, at least it's start, right? You got to build it up. You got to build it up from somewhere.
Yeah, 2-0 Sharks.
Jesus, wow! NHL hockey's unpredictable, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
8-2 Warriors.
Yeah, I bet the Warriors money line when you told me the spread was 5. I got it in just before tip off. Minus 225 for the Warriors at home in a playoff game seems pretty short. I don't follow enough, but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's hyping Houston, but they're forgetting they're playing Golden State in Golden State. And, Houston can win some games this weekend. It'll get interesting still. All right, Jeff, we appreciate you joining us here tonight.
No worries, Gabe. All the best.
Yeah, I'll see you down the road.
Later.
Jeff Feinberg. Houston and Golden State off and running here tonight. No, you know what, Jazz? Listen, Tyrod Taylor isn't Phillip Rivers, but if Phillip Rivers got hurt, it's not the full catastrophe that it would have been in past years. It's not Charlie Whitehurst and shit. Tyrod Taylor is better if he's surrounded by really good players, right? You can be an average quarterback, and if you're surrounded by really good talent, Nick Foles won a fucking Super Bowl. And the Chargers are pretty stacked on offense. But you could say if any starting quarterback goes down, most teams are screwed. The Chargers, listen, I wouldn't lay 220. It's not great value, minus 220 to make the playoffs, but the Chiefs are the ones that are dangerous in a bad way. Like the Chiefs are like fucking like big time favorites to make the playoffs. What are the Chiefs? It's crazy, the Chiefs odds. The Chiefs are like minus 500 to make the playoffs or something. Yeah, will the Chiefs make the playoffs? Minus 550. No, plus 400. They are an injury away from being done. Like if Mahomes goes down, like they're already screwed as it is. I mean, they're running out of players on offense. The Williams guy that replaced Hunt's pretty good. Damian Williams, I think it was. He's good. He's not great. He's pretty good, though. Travis Kelce's not getting any younger. Losing Tyreek Hill will be big. Mahomes is a stud. They drafted a guy that's basically Tyreek Hill 2.0 without the violence. I think Tyreek Hill's done no matter what happens. Either the NFL suspends him or the Chiefs just cut him. The Chiefs already suspended him. They said, well, we're going to do the right thing. The Chiefs have a bad look, and it's bad for them. Like, they can't keep defending these people, right? They're going to have to, I can't believe they traded for Frank Clark. Now, listen, Frank Clark hasn't done anything since he's been in the NFL. I always get the feeling there's something about him, though, that, look, he was a Michigan Wolverine. It sucks. But he's kind of weird. Like, no one ever knew anything about him in Michigan. It was like right at the end of his career. It was near the bowl game and shit. And I don't know if he pushed someone down the stairs, a chick, or, he didn't kill anyone. It wasn't over the top, but it wasn't a good look for him. Harbaugh kicked him off the team. Like, Harbaugh has like a zero tolerance fucking for this shit. So he just got booted off Michigan, and he went to Seattle, drafted him like months later type thing. Who doesn't have a zero tolerance is Urban Meyer. And Reggie Bush is fucking already talking about it, but Urban Meyer does this all the time, in which he did the same thing in Florida, where he racks up the fucking violations, crazy shit happens under his watch, and he sweeps shit under the carpet, and he knows shit's going to hit the fan, and he splits. And he says, health issues, and want to spend time with the family. And then what does he do? Last time he did this, well, I guess his health issue was fine because like a week later, he took a job with ESPN, which didn't mean he was spending time with his family. And then after about 6 months with ESPN, he went to Ohio State. Same pattern here. Remember the shit at the fan last year at Ohio State? He basically fucking pulled out the old victim card. Oh, health issues. I got brain problems. He played the victim card about health issues, steps down, health issues, spend time with the family. I'm tired all these years. Boom, week later, all over again. He's the new studio analyst for FS1 and Fox. Well, dude, if you have health issues, like being the FS1 and Fox football analyst is not like mailing it in. They're paying you a lot of money. You know what I mean? So, rinse and repeat. And everybody joked, well, what school is he going to, where's he going to pop up in a couple of months? Well, USC. USC Trojans. That's the new rumor. Urban Meyer, USC Trojans. Yeah, it's a thing. I didn't realize Tyrod was a Charger either. It was sort of flew under the radar, but listen, no team really has a good backup quarterback for the most part. I don't even know who the Bills' fucking quarterback is. Oh, Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley. Now, I'd be careful, JS, with the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't a lock. The only thing is the Chiefs will make the playoffs, but they're not worthy of being that big of favorites. Look, what happens if Travis Kelce gets hurt? Like as good as Mahomes is, and Mahomes is great, but he needs people to throw it to. Tyreek Hill will be gone. He'll have Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce. They'll sign somebody. It's not like they're useless. And they had a good offseason with defense. So I'm not writing the Chiefs off, but the Chiefs aren't like I said, the Chiefs have problems. I wouldn't lay minus fucking 550 for them to make the playoffs. That's what you got to lay $550 to win $100. The Chiefs going to make the playoffs. It's a bad bet. Like, what are you getting out of it? You know what I mean? Nothing. You're better off playing the plus 450 that they don't, plus 400 that they don't, just out of a stab. Kevin Durant for 3. Dear God, is he good? And James Harden's fucking acting like he just got shot. Harden's down on the floor. I want to see the replay of what happened to Harden here. And you're acting like what? Oh, fuck off. Fuck off, Harden. And you want to, God, it's hard to like you, fucker. One thing too, this series is 9-1 to the under in the last 10 times these two teams have played. It's 19-8 for Golden State. Golden State aren't fucking around. Steph Curry's back in the game. His fingers taped up a bit. See if it affects his shooting. Which actually could, which could fuck me up. I have him in fucking DFS. Last night I killed it in DFS. See if I can keep that shit going. Out of all the playoff odd bets, the ones that I like the most, the Baltimore Ravens plus 180 to make the playoffs. Who do the Ravens fucking draft? Fuck. Who's the fucking running back they fucking drafted?
All right, Ravens fan.
Ravens, fucking Marquise Brown, yes. Like the Marquise Brown pick. Miles Boykin was a nice pick. Oh, Justice Hill. Justice Hill. That's for you, Sooner Lisa. Oklahoma State. They can't all be Sooners. It's actually the first time the Baltimore Ravens have ever drafted a player from Oklahoma State. It's kind of hard to believe. The Ravens had a great draft, and they stockpiled offensive picks. I talked about this the other night. Like, the Ravens are a strong team. They have a good coach. They're always just going to be in the fucking mix, the Ravens, right? And at plus 180, it's pretty good odds for them. You know, they don't even need to win a division. Like, they're going to be right in the mix to make the playoffs. The AFC is kind of good, though. You know, the AFC, there's a lot of good teams. The NFC, there really isn't. The NFC, there's a few good teams and sort of everyone else. You know, like the Rams are good. Like, who's good in the NFC? Like, who's like a fucking powerhouse in the NFC every year? You know what I mean? Like, kind of no one. Seattle aren't what they used to be. The Saints are fucking pretty good. You know, the Saints are pretty good, but they're not invincible. You know, the Cowboys are fucking, man, they're all right, the Cowboys. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, but the Eagles aren't like some powerhouse. You know, like the AFC is tougher. Pretty much it's, you know, you have a lot of teams in the AFC that are very good, but not great, sort of. Not good enough to beat the Patriots, but good, you know? Like that division in the South. Like, if you look at the playoff spots, like the Bills are going to be a good team this year. They'll be better, but like, you can't, you know, they're plus 500 to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs, the Bills. There's too many teams that are better than them. But they can win 7 games. Fuck, 6.5 is the win total. Oh, Houston's hitting a bunch of threes suddenly. You know, like you look at the AFC South. They're all pretty good in the AFC South. Indianapolis is very good. Houston's good. Jacksonville can be good, and Tennessee are fucking pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, there's no free pass in that division, and like the Colts are a competitive team, man. A lot of people are saying coming into this year, the Colts are like Super Bowl. They're the team that can beat the Patriots this year, but we hear the same bullshit every year, and we see the same bullshit every year. Like Feinberg, I don't want to burst his bubble and shit. I let him get excited, but we see it every year. Phillip Rivers chokes in the playoffs every year. And it's been this way for 15 years or 13 years now. Like, it's just, it is what it is. And to be honest, I've lost enough on Andrew Luck now in the fucking playoffs to know it's the same bullshit with him. Like, Andrew Luck and the Colts are always good enough to win like one fucking wild card game, and then they go on the road in the snow and they fucking lose every time. Every time. And, oh, it's going to be different this time. It's like, it's never different. They were even worse this year than they've ever been. Fuck. Basically, the Indianapolis Colts, I think the Colts are Super Bowl contenders. Like, I legitimately, I believe that they are. But the Indianapolis Colts need home field advantage. Point blank. And if it ain't home field advantage, then they got to fucking hope they're going into fucking Los Angeles. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the Colts is impossible, like they couldn't win in California in nice weather, but it's proven. Like, I don't know how many times we have to see it. I've seen it 3 or 4 times now with Andrew Luck. And I've seen it with young Andrew Luck, with older Andrew Luck now. It's the same thing every time. He was fucking terrible against the fucking Patriots. Oh, not to mention the Browns. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about one division. Like, if you look at the AFC, like, pretty much everyone's like, there's a lot of competitive teams, man. Like, you have the New England Patriots, who're still in the Kings of the conference still. The Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets are definitely much better. Yet, you know, they're not there yet. The Baltimore Ravens are good. The Pittsburgh Steelers are good. The Cleveland Browns are suddenly good. The Houston Texans are good. The Colts are good. The Titans are good. The Jags can be good. The Chiefs are good. And the Chargers are good. That's 2, 6, 9, 10 competitive teams, and I'm not even including the Bills and the Jets, who will be competitive. You know, so that's like, they won't be easy to beat. I'm not saying they'll win every week, but, you know, they're not going to be easy to beat. So it's like 12 good teams in the conference. Like, let's look at the NFC. The Cardinals are terrible. I guess the 49ers, I don't know about the 49ers. I mean, the 49ers have sucked forever. And, you know, we'll see. Are they suddenly going to be magically good because Garoppolo's there? I'm not so sure. They're not that, like, they don't really have many players, San Francisco. Like, you know, I get it. You take Nick Bosa, it is what it is, but you don't really have a lot of offensive talent on this team. You have Jimmy Garoppolo and kind of nothing. Like, who's his weapons? What do they have? Like, and honestly, like John Lynch, he's sort of gotten a free pass on this, but he's taken defensive linemen 3 years in a row in the draft. You know, like he got Buckner. He got Solomon Thomas. He's got Bosa. It's like every year, bro, you keep drafting the same player. It's like you're neglecting the rest of your football team. They tried to get in on the Odell Beckham stuff, but they missed out on it. They never wanted Antonio Brown, even though Antonio Brown wanted to play there. So, yeah, look at the NFC. All right, the Dallas Cowboys are good. We'll count them as a good team. The Eagles, we'll say, are good. That's 2 teams. The Redskins and Giants, we can't say are good. The Bears and the Vikings are good. Yeah, that's 4 teams. The NFC South is pretty all good. You know what I mean? 3 of the teams are good. So that's like 7 good teams. Then you get the Rams, you know? You see what I'm saying? It doesn't match up like to what the AFC has. Like, it's easier to make the playoffs in the NFC than the AFC. The AFC is going to be a bitch to make the playoffs for teams. I mean, there's only 2 wildcard spots. So, you know, that leaves like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Houston, Indianapolis, Tennessee. the Chiefs, the Chargers, battling for not a lot of spots. Like, I'm pro Buffalo coming into this year, but I'm not that pro Buffalo to say that, yeah, we're going to overtake all these teams in a playoff push. But for playoff odds, Baltimore at plus 180 is nice. Will Arizona make the playoffs is 100-1. Pretty big odds, actually. Fuck. Will the Atlanta Falcons make the playoffs? Will the Atlanta Falcons make the playoffs? Plus 170. No, minus 200. Baltimore to make the playoffs, plus 180. The Bills to make the playoffs is plus 500. You could bet the nose, too. Carolina make the playoffs, plus 240. I'm done with them. Will Chicago make the playoffs? Minus 110. I think they will, but there's no value there. The Bengals, plus 700. They're not making the playoffs. The Browns are plus 100 to make the playoffs. I think the Browns can make the playoffs, but there's no value at plus 100. Dallas to make the playoffs is plus 105. Not enough value there. And in fact, there's no guarantee they will. The division they play in kind of sucks, though. Denver make the playoffs is plus 500. They're not going to make the playoffs. Yeah, they'll be like 8-8 or something. It won't be terrible, but they're not going to make the playoffs. Will the Detroit Lions make the playoffs? Not with Matt Patricia as their coach. Will the Green Bay Packers make the playoffs? Plus 110. That's terrible odds. Fuck. I'd almost fucking say no at minus 130. They haven't made the playoffs in 2 years straight. Be 3 years in a row. And it's not like their roster's great. They have a new coach. Fucking Rodgers ain't getting any younger. The division's better than the Green Bay was in a division. They were sort of kings of it. They're not anymore. The Bears are really good. The Vikings are talented. The Packers at plus 110. I'd say no at minus 130. This is the other one I like. What is it now? It's plus 150. Will the Houston Texans make the playoffs? Plus 150. I actually like it. I think the Texans will make the playoffs. I think they're in the mix at least. They're pretty much putting the Colts in the playoffs at minus 250. Will Jacksonville make the playoffs? Plus 375. Will the Colts make the playoffs? Minus 550. The Chargers are minus 220 to make the playoffs. The Rams are minus 310. The Dolphins are 11-1. Which is actually what the Cards are, 10-1. They are plus 1,100. Will the Minnesota Vikings make the playoffs? Plus 130. Hard to trust Kirk Cousins. Patriots to make the playoffs? Minus 900. Will the Saints make the playoffs? Minus 310. Plus 250? Plus 250, no. That division is never a free pass. Like, you notice every year in that division, someone dominates it. Last year, it was the Saints, but, like the Panthers, the Falcons, like it sort of rotates that division. I thought the Bucs could sort of be a sleeper this year, but the problem with the Bucs is their schedule is a massacre. They're not playing at home for 2 months. Will the Giants make the playoffs? God, no. Plus 500. Will the Jets make the playoffs? Plus 500, yes. No, excuse me. It's fucking small fun here. It's plus 390 now. Plus 390 that the Jets make the playoffs. I think the Jets could be in the mix, but they'll fall short. But I wouldn't write them off. Like I said, I think the Bills will sort of be in the mix, but I don't really trust Adam Gase. Though the Jets do have a very good roster. Like the Jets lineup is getting better and better. They have Le'Veon Bell now, right? So that's a massive, it's a massive upgrade. He's going to make plays for him. He's going to make Darnold's life easier. Will the Oakland Raiders make the playoffs? Plus 700. They're not making the playoffs. But it's minus 1,100. No. Will the Philadelphia Eagles make the playoffs? Here's one, too, that they're pretty much, this is a good bet. Will the Philadelphia Eagles make the playoffs? Yes, minus 190. No, plus 160. Like, why are you just putting the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs? You know, the Eagles, no guarantee the Eagles are making the playoffs. Carson Wentz never stays healthy. They don't have Nick Foles save their ass anymore. Well, I don't really understand why they would be so heavily favored here, Philadelphia, to make the playoffs minus 190. I know the division they play in, but the Giants aren't going to be in their way. The Redskins aren't respected by the book. And just so it basically leaves the Dallas Cowboys. Like, who's better, the Cowboys or the Eagles? And for all the shit that Jason Garrett and Jerry Jones get, or I should say Jerry Jones, the Cowboys are actually pretty freaking good. It's up to Garrett, but the Cowboys are actually a pretty stacked roster, to be honest. Plus 160. I don't know. It's just, to me, I'm looking for value. I'm not singling out teams I like or dislike. Will the Pittsburgh Steelers make the playoffs? Yes, plus 110. I think they could, but no value there. San Francisco make the playoffs, plus 340. Too many unknowns. Seattle make the playoffs, plus 100. Will Tampa make the playoffs, plus 500? Will Tennessee make the playoffs, plus 375? That's not a bad bet. That's not a bad bet right there. Only because we've seen Tennessee often does make the playoffs. You know what I mean? They don't win. Well, they actually beat the Chiefs 2 years ago, but Tennessee, and you know what? Tennessee had a nice offseason too. Tennessee had a nice free agency signing period, and they had a nice draft as well. They're really going to go as far as Mariota can take them, but I'm not sure how far Mariota can take them. Mariota might be good, but not great. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Mariota, it's his last year of his contract. Oh, big run for Houston. They cut the lead to 4. It was 30 years. Golden State was rolling before. Now it's 31-27. No, he's on the floor, Harden, now. He's back. I just saw him. I don't know if he just walked out, but I just saw him on the bench there. He's there. Yeah. Like I said, I got to research the schedules more. I would make these bets, but just looking at them all, I would say yes to Tennessee. I'm looking for value here. Yes, Tennessee Titans, plus 375. I'm getting a very good football team, a good coach in Mike Vrabel in his second year now. Mariota's in a contract year. Derrick Henry really came on in the second half of the season last year, finally lived up to his potential. They're fucking stacked at the wide receiver position now. They keep signing people and drafting people, and they've got a lot of talent on offense. Their defense is going to always be pretty good. They play in a tough division, but it's not like the Colts and the Jags and the Texans are better than they are, right? They're all evenly matched, these teams. I think there's pretty decent value there. Tennessee Titans to make the playoffs, plus 375. Philadelphia Eagles not to make the playoffs, plus 160. If you're feeling a little ballsy, New Orleans Saints not to make the playoffs at plus 250, except the Saints are going to make the playoffs. Not enough value there. Ravens to make the playoffs at plus 180, yes. I think Houston's not bad, but plus 150, I would rather take Tennessee at plus 375 than Houston at plus 150. And if you're one of these guys and you've got a bankroll and stuff, like, yes, like there's not a hope in hell the Cincinnati Bengals make the playoffs this year. Like there's no chance. It's minus 1,100 to the no. Like if you had like serious money type thing and like you looked at it like stock, you could bet $111,000 to win $10,000. You know, like that type of action. You know, when you see like the monster bets come in and stuff, you're going to win the $10,000. Like the Cincinnati Bengals aren't making the playoffs. There's too many, like even if the Bengals were better than people thought, like there's just too many teams that they would have to be better than. Is Alex Smith done? Yeah, I think Alex Smith is done. He's still on their roster. He's still on their roster, but you know, look, they've got Keenum and they drafted Dwayne Haskins. Listen, one thing is about the Washington Redskins. Oh, looks like Durant might be hurt now. Not seriously, but Durant's getting up at least. Durant landed pretty hard here on his back. PJ Tucker went down pretty hard too. These guys are playing hard, man. People think basketball is like non-contact, or it's Eric Gordon. No, it was Tucker. Oh, and KD missed the free throw. It's 31-27 right now for Golden State. They're up by 4. Everyone's getting beat up in this game for real. James Harden seems to be hurt for real. Like he's not playing right now. Like he's a prima donna and stuff. Like he'd flop around, but he's actually tough. Like he'd be playing if he could. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's just resting for a minute here, but he's on the bench. His eyes all fucking red and kind of fucked up a bit. I guess he got fucking, I don't know if he got a nail in the eye. Maybe he did. You know, maybe he got like an eye poke. It was Draymond Green, right? So, you know, we all know Draymond. So right now the Rockets are hanging and they're playing well. They have a weird lineup on the floor right now. It's like they're early in the second quarter, so there's a bunch of backups on the floor for Golden State, but they have Durant on the floor. And this is the big difference with the Golden State Warriors, why they're a little bit vulnerable and why they don't blow teams out anymore in the playoffs. Is they used to have like a devastatingly good bench, the Warriors. You know what I mean? Like there was always someone lethal on the court. They don't have that anymore. You know, when you're paying Durant, Curry, and Thompson and shit, like they and Boogie Cousins and like, even though he only makes $5 million, they don't have money for anybody. Like their bench is pretty woefully thin, Golden State. They're making plays now, a couple of putbacks here, but you know, like put it like in past years, Harrison Barnes and shit was off the bench. You know what I mean? There ain't no Harrison Barnes, you know, anymore. Harrison Barnes is now Kevin Looney. Here comes Harden. Here comes Curry back in the game. You know, Kendrick Perkins said it well. He said it well that in the NBA, Kendrick Perkins tweeted out, because all the players in the NBA have been tweeting about the reffing. So even players that aren't in the playoffs are like saying the reffing's like got to get better and shit. And Kendrick Perkins tweeted out, he had a pretty good tweet. He said, all these guys are so worried trying to get fouls called, they're forgetting about winning the game. That's a good point. And that's the thing right now with Houston. It's in their heads. Like, it's in their heads. Like, and look, like Curry here, like after every play now in the NBA, they're talking to the refs now. Like, it's gone too far. Like, I'm almost going to take the side of the league here, and like in which they should tell the players, like, listen, like in the off season, they have to have a meeting. They have to say, listen, you guys can't complain after every motherfucking call. You know, D'Antoni's yelling right now. Fucking Steph Curry's fucking bitching at the ref. Like, everyone's fucking bitching on both teams. It's like, guys, like, you're all unhappy. Just shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Just shut up. Still waiting for his first home run. But whatever, the Jays keep winning since he's been there, so it's amazing what one player can do for the enthusiasm factor of a team. There's something about him too, right? It was sort of same way with his with Vlad Sr., you know. They're very likable. You know, they're charismatic, they're quiet, sort of humble, you know what I mean? They're not dickheads about it, you know? Like Vlad Sr. wasn't like an egomaniac and shit. Like, he didn't even live. Like, he lived in a nice building, but it wasn't even like ultra condo or anything. I knew the building he lived in. And it was like 3 blocks from fucking where I lived. Fucking, like, the manager, Frank Robinson, lived in a much nicer place than Vladimir Guerrero did. Like, Frank Robinson lived in like a modern condo on Peel and the Maisonneuve Street. So it was right on Peel. It was, Peel and the Maisonneuve. It was a nice, like, at the time, I remember it was like this new nice fucking building and shit. And Vladimir Guerrero lived in like one of the high rises on Guy Street. He lived on Guy, actually. He lived on that high rise on Guy, right outside of Guy Metro Station, actually. And it's okay. It's nice. Like, he lived in one of the nicer ones, but it's basically like all hookers and drug dealers. And, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think he knew that, but like, I know he liked it because it was fucking like, he basically just crossed the street and get on the metro and fucking it would take him to the stadium. But like, that's where basically most of the players on the Expos live. So like, you know, like the Alouettes, it's a hotel that me and Jazz have stayed at. The Alouette players all live there. A lot of the Expo players live right on Guy in those high rises and shit. But the thing is, now those high rises are antiquated. Like, they used to be kind of nice, you know, they have pools and shit, but they're not now. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like Guerrero, like could have lived in a better place and he didn't. Like I said, Guerrero's a pretty family guy. I know, like in Montreal, his mother lived in the apartment next door to him. Like they didn't live together, but she lived next door. So he had his place. He rented the apartment next door for his mother. He rented the apartment next to that for his cousin. And I think there was another one. I think it was his brother or something. Like it was basically like 4 units on a floor that he was paying for. But he had his own kind of apartment, but his family were all there. His mother like cooked for him and shit. Eating fucking like real like Dominican shit, you know? Patrick Waugh used to have a high-rise apartment, like right across the street from the Forum too. Like he had a house and shit, but he used to have an apartment like to fucking party at, and like when they were playing, you know, whatever, when he didn't want to drive out to his fucking house and shit. Now in Montreal, there's all new condos and shit though. All right, 42-33. A little bit of a run now for the Warriors. They're sort of going back and forth here a bit as far as, you know, who's hot and who's not. Yeah, it's still 2-0 in the hockey game. Yeah, 2-0 midway through the second period of play. The unpredictability of the NHL playoffs continues. Although, hey, listen, we predicted the Columbus game, but seemed like Colorado were in a good spot. Harden pops a 3. He's such a showboat, Harden, though. It's like, dude, we get it. You got hit in the face. Like, every fucking, like, he's making faces with his face, like, constantly. It's like, dude, we get it. Fuck. He wants to play hero ball. This really is good basketball, though. Like, they're elite players. They're elite players. Like, look at the tempo here and shit. It's some good shit. They're elite players and shit, and they don't like each other. So it's a good combination. Like a lot of time, and there'll be teams that don't like each other, but it's just sort of ugly. Like the Heat and the Knicks used to not like each other, but they couldn't hit a shot. Fuck. Like people, oh, it's great. It's like, yeah, look at the scores. It was 82-78, 78-74 and shit. Like these guys don't like each other. They're hitting each other, but they're scoring still. Curry and one here. I've taken a step back. I'm just betting lightly on Bookmaker right now. I didn't go to the book in the last couple of days. We're going to get back into it this weekend and in the next couple of days, tomorrow and Thursday with the Raptors back. But I don't mind this. Like, I think Golden State will win tonight. And it sort of sets up well for Houston now, moving forward, the zigzags. The double zigzag theory, so to speak. As that's up and down. I don't know how you got away with that. As Houston won't be that heavily favored at home. And Houston will win at home. Like Houston are getting frustrated here. They're bitching about the refs. They're in Oakland. The crowd in the Warriors crowd is fucking all jacked up and shit. It's gonna be it'll be different when they get back to Houston this weekend. It'll be a different wave and shit. Everything will go right for the Rockets. We all know I'm never right with Rocket games, even though I'm on the Warriors right now. It's looking good. And you know what? I was actually on the Rockets in game 1, at +6, and they lost by 4. So maybe my Rocket curse is done because this is scary, but looks like we're going to step up and in, and we'll bet big on the Rockets in the next game after they lose this game tonight. When is that game? Is it Saturday? Got a Kentucky Derby on Saturday. I also like Barcelona tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow night, only one NBA game, Portland and Denver. And then Thursday, only one game, Raptors and Sixers. Then we're back to a doubleheader on Friday night, Milwaukee at Boston, Denver at Portland. And then only one game Saturday. Kind of sucks. Golden State at Houston Saturday night, 8:30. So that's the big motherfucker right there. Then the Raptors play Sunday. The Raptors play Thursday and Sunday. And their season's pretty much on the line. It's not to be dramatic, but it's going to be stressful, man. If the Raptors lose Thursday, it's going to be an anxious little wait going into Sunday. Listen, I'm not panicked the Raptors lost one game, but I would have rather not lost at home. I'd rather be up 2-0 and then lose in Philly. Like, we gave up home court here. I'm not a fan of this. They've got to get it back. Like, they've got to steal this fucking game back on Thursday night, which they can. They can. There's pressure playing at home, and it's all or nothing with Philly. It's kind of like it's dangerous, but if the Philadelphia 76ers aren't playing well early, their fans turn on them. Like, even in the playoffs, they'll start booing them and shit. And it pisses them off. It pisses the Sixer players off. They complain about it in the Brooklyn series. But if Philadelphia are playing well early, those Philly fans get fucking rowdy and shit, and they get into it. It's bad. Like Golden State's having a strong finish to the half here. They're up by 14. That's the thing, man. You look at Houston and like they're sweating their ass off. Like Houston are trying and shit, but Golden State are just that good. It's nothing's really going their way. Houston, like I said, I'm not writing them off, even in the series. Listen, they were already big underdogs coming into the night. They were like plus 400 or something after losing the one game. They're going to lose tonight, and they're going to be like plus 550, plus 700 or something to come back and win the series. Might be worth a sprinkle. The Rockets. Mark Lawrence is good at this. He's sort of playing like a stock market. You know what I mean? Like Cam has done. Cam has been smart. Cam's been jumping in on these hockey series after a game or two and taking everyone in the plus 230 range. I'm saying, like, if the Rockets lose tonight and then you take them and you get them at like plus 600 or plus 650 or something, there's a good chance the Rockets win the next two games at home. And then the number plummets down, that goes down again, then boom, you jump in on Golden State. You win money either way, Late 3, but it doesn't count. I didn't manage this fucking little piece of bud that I had very well. It's fucking depressing. That's what it is. What are you gonna do? All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Not quite yet, but we'll get you some second half numbers and all that other stuff. Like I said, tomorrow, only one game tomorrow. Portland at Denver. You know what sucks? The total last night, the total was 215. Total was 215. And it went over. And if you paid attention, we told you that it went over all 4 times they played this year. And last night it sailed over. They opened it up at 217.5 today. Boom, I'm seeing it's 219 now. They bet it up. This was more of the better number. I think it'll go over though tomorrow night. 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night, that game. So we'll be on during this game tomorrow night for its entire, well, we'll join like after it starts, but we'll be on throughout the game. And we're back into double-header mode tomorrow night in the National Hockey League. Islanders and Carolina, must-win situation for the New York Islanders tomorrow. One thing with the Islanders, they've been very resilient this year. You know, we talked about that earlier today, like with Milwaukee. Milwaukee were 21-1 off a loss this year. They don't, you know what I mean? Only one time did they lose 2 consecutive games this year, the Milwaukee Bucks. And you saw tonight they really responded. Fuck. The Islanders, same thing. Like the Islanders have done a nice job. I remember like every time this year the Islanders were sort of like shit wasn't going well, they always dug down deep. Curtis McElhinney's going to be starting tomorrow. Like they've got a lot of injuries. They're a banged up hockey team right now. Listen, the series is on the line tomorrow. I'm not going to write the Islanders off. Just, you know, anything can happen in the NHL, man, you know, but it's only 2 games. You know what I'm saying? But, like, if the Islanders don't win tomorrow, they're going to be down 3-0 and it's over. This might be as an unpredictable year as it comes, Drew, in the NHL. Columbus are hot. Carolina are hot. Dallas are hot. Fucking San Jose seem like they're not going to be denied. Like, it's crazy. I wouldn't write the Bruins off yet, but I don't think the Bruins are great. The Bruins just had a nice matchup with the Leafs. Like, they own the Leafs. The Bruins are somewhat of a limited team. Angels up, huh? Two one in the hockey game, so Colorado are back in it. 58-49 at the half. So, you know what? The total actually has a puncher's chance to get there. These games never go over, but you've got an adjusted number now at 216 and a half. I don't think it's crazy talk to think that the second half will go over. Houston are going to get fucking desperate here. They don't want to go down 0-2. Harden was out for a bit of the first half. I think the second half overs in play. 109. I'm going to play it. And it's in. No, it's not in. Fuck. This fucking book always fucking does this to me. Fuck, man. Now it's in. Fuck. Minus 109. Sorry, minus 115 over 109. So I went over 109 in the second half. Which becomes 217. And the total closed at what, 220. So we're getting an adjusted number of 3, which I think it's going to get there. They're at 107 right now. So sorry, 216 I got to get to, yeah. They're at 107 right now. I don't think it's asking too much to get to 109 here. Like I said, these guys keep playing to the under, but they could get to 217 and it would stay under the number of the game, but the second half would go over. I think it's going to go over here in the second half. It's the calm before the storm right now. Raptor game on Thursday. Raptors have to be motherfucking better, man. You know, I'm not going to go through it now and shit, but fucking Van Fleet last night. Yankee Sabathia makes history, joins the 3,000 strikeout club. And good for him. Brock Lesnar retires. I don't know if he could retire. Fuck, he wasn't really there. Like, it's a big story here. Brock Lesnar retires from MMA. Well, he wasn't in the UFC. I think people just sort of assume because he left the WWE or whatever that he was fighting in the UFC. This could just be fucking. This could just be a monetary ploy from him as well. Dana White says that the UFC is moving on and it's going to be a Miocic and Daniel Cormier rematch. There was a lot of expectations they were going to announce that Brock Lesnar was fighting Cormier. Brock Lesnar, Dana White says, Brock Lesnar told me that he's done. He's not going to be fighting Cormier. He's decided to retire. We're moving on in a different direction. Miocic tells ESPN he's ready. I've been ready. I look forward to getting back and taking what back is mine, blah, 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 blah. Lesnar not fought since 2016 when he beat Mark Hunt. A victory that was overturned due to Lesnar's failing multiple drug tests. Anyways, people bitched anyways that Brock Lesnar was going to get this fight against Cormier. So now people get to see the fight that they actually wanted to see in the rematch. According to Brett Okamoto of ESPN, which he would know now because the UFC's on ESPN. Cormier and Miocic will fight August 17th in Anaheim, California. Yeah, Brock's got a good thing going in the in the WWE. He doesn't really do much. He makes like fucking $4 million a year, $6 million a year. I think is 5, 6, whatever it is, in that range. Why go get punched in the face for real for fucking $500,000? That's what Brock used to make in the UFC. There were a couple of instances against Hunt. I think he got like 2 million or something, but I guess he looks at it like, hey, it's 2 million for one fight. But quite frankly, I don't know if Brock Lesnar could fight without taking steroids. I think, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I'm not sure he can fight without being juiced up. And he'd have to go through the drug testing shit. And he's probably juiced up at now. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, he used to be like a fucking juice, fucking roid, fucking monkey. Like, he was really, 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 really juiced up, Brock, over the years. And then he got the thing in his stomach. And I don't know, like, he had to stop at the time. Like, he didn't take, like, you remember when he came, like, he used to have to cut weight and shit to make 265. And after his stomach illness, he got off the juice. You could tell he didn't look the same. He wasn't the same, and he got beat up. Like, he wasn't the same, right? So he split. He went back to wrestling. He seemed to fucking juice up again. And then he juiced up. And Mark Hunt even called it, if you remember. He said, we all know what Brock's going to do. He said he's going to fucking juice up, and he's just going to retire after. Like, he doesn't care. Like, Brock Lesnar did this twice in the UFC, where he would just juice up, come back, fucking steroid up, come back, win the fight. He did it against Mir. He did it against Hunt, where he didn't care. You know what I mean? Like, he'd get juiced up, and then after, he just quit anyways. He'd be like, well, I'm leaving anyways. I'm going to wrestling. See you later. He'd get fucking suspended, and it wouldn't fucking matter because he wouldn't fucking fight for 2-3 years. And then he'd just come back and do it all over again. Oh, we're going to test you this time. It's like, yeah, sure. You know, and then after, oh, sorry about that. You can suspend me because I don't really care. Like, Lesnar doesn't even show up to those fucking hearings. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like Jones will show up because he wants to fight again. Lesnar's like, I don't care. Yeah, exactly. Brock Lesnar will be back for WrestleManias and shit like that. He ain't going to do the Monday Night Raws every week or anything like that, but they'll be, you know, he'll sign a deal where they'll bring him back for fucking, like you said, fuck SummerSlam and then, you know, a couple of pay-per-views a year type thing. He's not that good anyways. Like, he's not that good. He's not good. He's a bad wrestler. He's a bad wrestler, and people don't really seem to like him all that much. Kind of bizarre that Vince pays him, to be honest. Vince just likes big freaks of nature and shit. I'm not saying he's not a draw. I mean, you know, he's got fans and stuff, but you know what I mean? It's like it seems like diehard wrestling fans aren't big fans of his. Like, his matches are always terrible. They're really short and fast. Other wrestlers, like, he doesn't play along with the WWE. Other wrestlers don't like him. Like, there's, you know, it's not like there's a big, you know, I don't really understand He's like a thing. It's like the modern like WWE, which isn't really wrestling anymore. It's entertainment. It's just a TV show. But they're not really into that shit, into like big dudes who just sort of throwing people around and shit anymore. Yeah, he's like their old school Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, big dude, you know what I mean? I bet you it's more Vince than anyone else that has him around, fuck. But like I said, like wrestling fans don't really like him. He's a great athlete though, Lesnar. I remember when ESPN did the greatest athlete ever thing. And Bo Jackson won. And Brock Lesnar said that he should have won. I don't even think Lesnar was on the list. I think they omitted him, fuck. And Lesnar actually had a point. Like, I'm not saying Lesnar's like I'm not saying Lesnar's the greatest athlete in modern like American stuff, but he's pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely on the list. Like not a lot of guys are like NCAA, like he was an NCAA champion twice, I think. 2-time NCAA champion, wrestler. He was a UFC heavyweight champion. And you know, he played football in high school. And he didn't play football for years. He tried out for the Vikings invited him. And like he fucking made the NFL Europe team. Like he was good enough, like without playing football, like just walking in through camp and shit. He went through a training camp and they told him, listen, fuck, you know what? You made, you know, if you want, you made the team, but, you know, not the Vikings. But basically, we're going to send you to fucking the NFL Europe. And you'll play there for a year. And then next year you'll be on the Vikings. And he said, nah, I don't really like this anyways. He said, nah, it's not really for me, this shit. That's when he got into wrestling for real. Fuck. So like he is that good of an athlete, you know what I mean? That like he could have played in the NFL. And it's not just like a tale or anything like that. Like there's stories and there's video of it and everything. Like there's video of him at the camp and there's like Viking coaches talk about him. They're like, yeah, the guy was like fucking massive. He's a super freak. He's a great athlete. And said he just needed to get like the coordination down because he hadn't played in a few years. But they said he was good. Like Lesnar's humble though. He's actually a dick, but when it came to that, like it was funny. I saw an interview with him and he was talking about the football. And he said he didn't like getting thrown around. He goes, man, because Brock Lesnar was a defensive lineman. So basically he was trying to sack the quarterback. And he said, man, there were some big guys on the O-line. And he goes, I realized I'm not the only tough guy in the world. And he goes, I really didn't like it because and he was honest. He goes, you know, I'm usually a perfectionist and I'm kind of the best at what I'll do if I'm going to do it. And he goes, I wasn't the best on the field. And he goes, I knew I wasn't the best. And he goes, it kind of bothered me. And he goes, they were just better than me. And he goes, I wasn't as good as like, you know, he didn't think he was that good, basically. He said he was getting pushed around a lot. And he said he had a lot of work to do if he was going to play football. And he didn't really like it. You know, he just went because they invited him. There's a lot of football players in wrestling, like The Rock, the famous story with The Rock. The Rock was going to be on the Calgary Stampeders. He made it too, same shit. Wally Bono told him, listen, fuck, you made the team, but you're not that good. He said, you're going to be a backup. He said, you'll be a backup and you'll be on special teams. And he said, you know, quite frankly, you're fucking nuts to be a backup here. And he said, you don't really have a future in football. He said, you're a backup. And he said, you should be a wrestler. You should just get into wrestling like, you know, your family. If you see The Rock talks, you know, Rock's all big now, so he's not talking about his roots and shit too much, but there's interviews out there where Rock talks about Wally Bono and shit. It was Wally Bono that told him, fuck, this ain't for you. Like, you're just going to be a backup in the CFL. And he said you could be a wrestling star. And now The Rock could probably buy the CFL. Like The Rock could not just like buy the Calgary Stampeders. Like, he could buy the league. Like, The Rock could like just buy every franchise in the league. Like, The Rock could buy every team. Like, The Rock could probably buy an NFL team. Fuck. There's actually a guy on the Argonauts. I see Spencer here. Spencer knows the Argos. James Wilder, the running back, James Wilder Jr. James Wilder Jr. Basically, the WWE has like a here it is here. They have like a they have tryouts, you know, for athletes at their performance center and stuff. So they have a program where it's like for football, NFL. So it's basically like if you were in the NFL, you played football or whatever, and you're into wrestling, Triple H will give you a shot. You know what I mean? Come down, see what you got. Uh, 40 athletes were invited. But this guy here, James Wilder Jr., he's on the Toronto Argonauts. He was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His father, or Cincinnati Bengals and the Bills. His father was on the Buccaneers. This guy here was like a linebacker, and he was a linebacker. He was just playing, and he was just on the Orlando Apollos in the fucking Alliance League and shit. Other notables: Lance Inoue, fame wrestling family; Ibzel Velez, who had a brief stint in W development since as Sofia Cortez, and is best known for her work in Lucha Underground, as I believe. All right, I tweeted a picture out of this before. This shit's crazy. Look at this guy. Look at his leg. The guy snapped his fucking leg in half, the referee in the ring. He snapped his leg in half in the ring and finished the match. He did the count out. Yeah, his reputation. This referee's reputation is through the roof now. Tom Castor. He broke his fucking leg. Look at his leg here, fuck. He's got a smile on his face. Supposedly when he did this was in NXT last week. Supposedly when he did this, so you can't see in the picture here. There's no, I don't know, I didn't see the video of it. Like there's just still shots here. It was like a house show. So I guess when he did the count, the wrestler is here. I think it was one of the wrestlers' fault that he did this too. I think like somebody fucked up. I was reading about it. Like I didn't see that. I was looking for video. I didn't see the video, but like they were saying that one of the wrestlers screwed up and basically he got caught in the middle. It was like the wrestler's fault. And this is why developmental, right? This shit's going to happen sometimes. And I guess it's weird. I guess another wrestler broke his ankle this night. 2 people got fucked up in Omaha this night. So anyways, this guy, look, you see him here. And he does the count. And because they're like, oh shit, end the match. Look at the ref's legs broken. So he does the count. And I guess when they're here, one of the wrestlers says to him, fuck, are you all right? The wrestler said to him, he goes, I'm great. He goes, God, I love this business. Look, he's all smiling. He goes, God, I love this business. I guess like even the wrestlers were like, what the fuck, man? This guy's fucking nuts. Fuck. Here it is. Here's Drake Wirtz. Please say a prayer for my brother. He broke his leg in the line of duty tonight during a main event. When he was on the stretcher, he squeezed my hand and proudly said, Drake, I love the business. We love you. There was another one too where he said, there's not too many that love the business left. He's one. Husband, professional, badass motherfucker. Willing to sacrifice his personal health for the entertainment of the paying customer. Say thank you. We're blessed to have you. Like, you know, all these wrestlers are like fucking badass. Hey, I want to see fucking, I'd like to see Scott Foster pop his leg and still fucking finish the game. And with that, you're on your own. Say a prayer for Lisa. I hope you're all right, Lisa. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.